Today's webinar will be presented by Sandra Marin, Microsoft go-to-market lead for Azure training and certification, and Gidget Pryor, global knowledge solutions engineer. We will explore how Azure provides easy-to-use services to help you get started with building data and AI solutions. We will also learn about the many areas of AI, including machine learning and how many modern applications and services depend on predictive machine learning models. Sandra, it's all yours. Let's begin.
Thank you, Christopher. Welcome, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever in the world you are joining us from today. Thank you, Global Knowledge, for inviting me to share this time with you today. As Christopher was mentioning, today we want to share an overview of data and AI services included in Azure and some stories of how Microsoft customers are using these services to create business solutions. We also want to share how some of the Microsoft Azure certifications that are aligned to key roles in data and AI, and the resources available to help you and your team to prepare for certification or creating this type of solutions. And more important, how Global Knowledge can support you in this journey. To set context, let's start with the role of the Microsoft Cloud in digital transformation. Our goal at Microsoft is to empower every individual and organization on the planet to achieve more. In the next revolution, growth is being driven by technology, and data is an important part of this. Our integrated cloud approach creates an unmatched platform for digital transformation. We address the real world needs of customers by seamlessly integrating Microsoft 365, Dynamics 365, LinkedIn, GitHub, Microsoft Power Platform, and Azure is a key component of this. All this integration is to unlock business value for every organization, from large enterprises to family-run businesses. And the backbone and foundation for this Microsoft Cloud is Azure. Given the pace of innovation, we look forward to ensure that we are investing in the technology that meets your needs, our customers and partners' needs. So we look for future investment and we think about the features and capabilities that should become available. We think quantum. Today, we offer quantum services, and this is from pre-built solutions to software and quantum hardware. And we are continuously partnering with engineering to push this the technology envelope so we can get there to a great quantum technology in the future. So that's Horizon 3. In Horizon 2, our investments you'll see are around artificial intelligence, mixed reality capabilities. Today, we offer many features and capabilities across these two technologies, AI and mixed reality. But we are always looking to build more in the fusion, from machine learning, knowledge mining, applications, agents, HoloLens capabilities. So we are constantly evolving on our technology, so we improve and build new services for today and for the future. And then let's talk Horizon 1. This is where we are, or our short near future, where we are today, and how we have evolved our products and services to become available sooner and faster. This based on our customer needs. We invest all the time to add new services and features for customers like you. So we build for today, we make sure that we are providing services that you need today, but we are also looking into the future. We are constantly researching and evolving and deciding to what is coming next. The cloud is moving fast and the pace of innovation continues to increase. So we are trying to stay ahead of the curve to ensure that we are meeting your needs, your company needs today, tomorrow, and in the future. Now, what do we have in Azure? I don't know when was the last time you look at all the services that we have available in Azure, but if you haven't done If you haven't looked at Azure in a while, you might be surprised to see what we have in Azure today. This is a very high level map of the services that we offer, and we have over 200 products and services in Azure. We are extending to the edge. We have the ability to run application code in the cloud, but also in a consistent way in the edge, whether it be Azure Stack, Azure Sphere, or all the way to HoloLens and mixed real capabilities. All these are powerful edge services. And we have dev tools, DevOps, great innovation to the core infrastructure and platform as a service that we offer. Overall, this is a big scope of what Azure as platform as a service can do for you. But let's go a little bit deeper on what do we have for data and AI. So let's focus on our breadth of data and analytics offerings first. We offer, Azure offers a broad set of data services that can help you store data locally distributed based on your needs, from relational databases like SQL databases that you can run on virtual machines, or you can get a SQL DB managed instance, you can get open source databases, non-relational databases like Cosmos DB. So our data support in Azure is very extensive, and it's covering all the different type of data and data services that you might have in your company. So we have Azure SQL database, a relational database as a service based on Microsoft SQL Server database engine. We have Azure Cosmos DB, a globally distributed database service. We have open source, so built in Azure, you have database engines for Postgres, for MySQL, for MariaDB, and you can migrate from your on-premises versions to the Azure versions of this open source database. So you have Cosmos DB, I mentioned already, like for non-relational database, for distributed databases. So no matter what you have on premises today, you can you can move to the cloud with our services on Azure, or you can have hybrid databases combining on-premises and cloud options. This is well available already, and you can start using it. Now, we have taken the industry leading data warehouse to a whole new level of performance and capabilities, and we are bringing together data warehouse and big data with Azure Synapse. Azure Synapse is a limitless analytics service that brings together enterprise data warehousing and big data analytics. So it gives you the freedom to query data however you want, using serverless on demand or provisioned resources at scale. Azure Synapse Analytics is bringing these two worlds together with a unified experience to ingest, prepare, manage, and serve data for immediate BI and for machine learning needs. So this is your infrastructure for anything analytics. Azure Synapse Analytics it's integrating management, security, and monitoring of data into a very easy to use and a unified environment. And it has a native integration to Apache Spark for big data processing, and it also has a native integration to machine learning. So you have a very powerful data warehouse engine, and you don't need to choose between managing a data warehouse or a data lake, because you have everything here with this service on Azure. And it's also deeply integrated with Power BI. So there is an end-to-end analytics in a single service, because you have all the power to prepare the data with Synapse, and to mine the data with Azure Machine Learning, and to model and visualize the data with Power BI. So it's a very powerful solution. So this is what we have in the data space. Now, what we have in the AI space with Azure, there are there are different type of solutions that you can build when it comes to artificial intelligence, and you have all these services in Azure to build these different type of solutions. You can build mission critical solutions to analyze images, comprehend speech, make predictions using data, even imitate intelligent human behaviors. All these with Azure AI. So let's take a look at what services we have in Azure AI. So starting from bottom up, Azure AI is a set of services that that are fully integrated with data, application development, compute services in Azure. So you can build applications that have AI features embedded. So Azure Machine Learning is uh, the top service in AI. And this service provides data scientists and developers the tools to build, train, and deploy models. Um, with Azure, we not only offer the service to build models from scratch, but we actually offer a pre-built set of models, like 30, 30 models across vision, speech, language, and decision making. So you can start from scratch your models, or you can use any of the pre-built models that come here. And Azure AI also offers services for professional developers, like Azure Bot Service to create conversational AI-based applications, or Search, the service to facilitate knowledge mining and to do search capabilities within documents. Or you have Form Recognizer, or Video Indexer is another very cool service to extract in-depth metadata from video and audio content. So all these services are already built in and available in Azure. You just need to use them. Another interesting aspect of Microsoft AI portfolio is the integration between Azure and Power Platform. And Power Platform is built on top of Azure AI, and Power Platform empowers citizen developers like business users and analysts to create applications with low code or no code. So you can create AI applications with Power Apps, or you can automate processes and tasks with Microsoft Automate. You can extract key phrases in documents or detect sentiment, customer reviews, and build custom machine learners in Power BI. So you have all these layers of deep development and from scratch for developers and data scientists to citizen developers using Power Platform to build AI-based applications. And then the top layer is our first party solutions that bring already AI capabilities. So you can see in Microsoft 365, in Office 365, in Dynamics 365, you can see already AI features across these solutions. And of course, we have partners developing solutions based on our platform. Let me go very quick to customer stories because all these services are available for you, but I want to give you some ideas of what type of solutions our customers are creating. So the first story is about a company. This company hires more developers than Google and Facebook. This company is number 3 in the top 21 Bay Area companies seeking for technology talent. And their offices are often described as sleek, minimalistic. I'm not talking about Salesforce or Adobe. I'm talking about Walmart. And Walmart is a company that is leveraging data to serve their 300 million customers with better products at lower prices. And they have embraced digital transformation, and they are relying a lot on Azure and Azure Data Services to empower their employees and meet their customer needs. This next customer is a small Japanese restaurant that has passed down 3 generations. And It's a small restaurant and they are doing custom machine learning work. And the most interesting thing is that a server in this restaurant taught herself machine learning and is building custom AI models to better serve their customers. So this is the name of the restaurant is Evilla. And the beauty of this story is anyone can use our capabilities and services to innovate. Another customer I want to share is Komatsu in Australia. Komatsu is a global manufacturer and distributor of mining equipment and earth moving equipment. And they had a heavy database and data state in mainframe applications. And they moved these mainframe applications to Azure SQL database managed instance, and they improved performance. They reduced costs by half, and they provide their employees and customers with the data that they were needed at the moment they needed it. Another customer I want to highlight is Paychex. Paychex is a provider of human resources and payroll and benefit outsourcing services for small and medium-sized companies. And they were going through a huge growth and they needed to scale to support their organization. So they migrated their on-premises environment to the cloud, and they are using Azure SQL database to optimize costs, to ensure availability, to scale elastically, so they can meet their growing demand. And this is all using Azure SQL database and Azure services. Now, some examples in the AI world. The CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, with the COVID-19 pandemic, the CDC deployed a bot that helps patients to self-assess the COVID-19 symptoms. And there are over 1,500 organizations that are using this bot, and this bot is fielding over 1.5 million messages per day. And this bot was created, powered by Azure AI. Carhartt is a retailer, and they use Azure AI to help them choose 3 new retail locations. And these retail stores exceeded their revenue plans by 200% within months of opening. So they are using artificial intelligence to help them make decisions. Um, we have other customers like Schneider Electric. Probably you are familiar with this. This is a global power management and industrial automation company. And they have been using AI and IoT, Azure AI and IoT, to help with their maintenance issues. So they've been able to decrease the number of days that they need to do maintenance on their equipment, and not only reactive maintenance, but they are also able to do proactive and predictive maintenance, trying to figure out when the equipment is going to fail, so they anticipate and go on and do maintenance, and they prevent from actually the equipment from actually breaking. So they've been using Azure machine learning and IoT edge to do this. The Metropolitan Museum is another example. Actually, it's not here, but they have 2 million works of art, and they have a cognitive search service when they are processing all the artwork that they have. So instead of doing manual inspection, they are using artificial intelligence for this. And ASOS is another interesting example. ASOS is an online fashion store, and their customers are 20 somethings around the world, and they needed to figure out what these customers, these shoppers wanted to buy, to make to provide recommendations. So they've been using Azure Machine Learning to understand the behavior of their customers and recommend shoppers with what they would like to buy next. And all this is artificial intelligence. So all these are examples of real companies using data and AI solutions to grow their business, to advance in to digital to advance in digital transformation. And there are many other examples that you can see. So the important thing here is that we have Azure has the services available, and you just need to figure out and to start getting ready to use the services to build solutions to support your business. So what do we have available, training and certifications that fit this particular area? Azure certifications and all the training associated to the certifications are designed to validate the technical knowledge and the abilities in current and in future industry roles, and no more future roles than in data and AI. So we have designed our portfolio to support IT professionals, developers, data and AI professionals to validate the skills that cover all the aspects of digital transformation, from managing on-premises, hybrid, or cloud infrastructure to innovating with the best-in-class uh, applications like the ones I was showing you before. And Azure certifications is a way for these professionals to prove and to show that they have those skills to support apps, infrastructure with data and analytics, and with security. That is super important for us. So we design our portfolio to cover all these aspects. This is the complete portfolio for Azure certification. So you can see that some certifications are aligned to manage hybrid cloud and infrastructure. Those are the ones that we call for IT professionals. But we also have certifications specifically for developers, or certifications for data and analytics, or for AI. But a lot of our certifications actually are for more than one audience. So for example, solutions architect expert certification goes across all IT pros, developers, data and AI. The AI engineer certification is for both developers and data professionals. So you can see our full portfolio, and we can think of, we are going to do a double click on specifically the certifications for data and AI. So this is our portfolio for data and AI. And we recommend these certifications to validate the skills required to support apps and infrastructure with data and analytics. These certifications are aligned to the roles that companies need to build the solutions that I was showing you before, and also the roles and skills to use those Azure data and AI services to build those solutions. So this is about the skills to build and maintain data and AI solutions. The first certification and role that I want to talk about is Azure Data Engineer Associate. This certification validates the skills required to design and implement end-to-end data solutions with a huge emphasis on data analytics. This includes preparing data from structured and unstructured data sources, all the way to have it ready for your data analytics solution. So this role is key in all the data warehouse and data lake solutions, all those data analytics services that I was showing before, Azure Synapse Analytics. Then you have Azure Database Administrator Associate. This certification is very interesting because it's the database certifications, cloud and hybrid. So this is the natural evolution path for an on-premises DBA, the database administrator. So these are all the skills to plan, implement, design, optimize, and operate hybrid and cloud data platform solutions using Microsoft SQL Server and Azure Data Services. So if you remember, I was talking at some point of Azure SQL DB, Postgres DB, Maria DB, MySQL, all these database engines that support your data state. This role, the Azure Database Administrator, is the one to with those skills to manage and design this type of solutions. The data analyst associate is all about data analytics and visualization. If you remember, I was talking about Power Platform and Power BI and how all these services are connected to get insights and to show the data to your stakeholders. So this data analyst role and the certification is about all the skills to prepare, model, visualize, and analyze data using Microsoft Power BI. The Azure Data Scientist Associate certification is one of our AI specific certifications. If you remember when I was showing you the services about AI, we were talking about models and machine learning. Well, this data scientist is the role associated to machine learning models, and this certification validates the skills needed to create those machine learning models on Azure and with Azure. This certification doesn't prove that you are a data scientist, but this certification shows that you can apply data science using Azure. The Azure AI Engineer Associate is the other certification that is about AI. And this certification is very cool. It's for both developers and for data people. And it's all about embedding AI features in your applications. So creating bots, for example, or conversational applications, that is this role. Using cognitive services, machine learning, knowledge mining to create these AI-ready applications. So this is that role, the Azure AI engineer. We announced a couple of weeks ago that Azure Data Engineer and Azure AI Engineer are, we've been doing a refresh of these two certifications, and this refresh will be available on February 23rd. And we are releasing new version of the exams associated to these certifications, data engineer and AI engineer. So we'll make sure to give you the link to the blog where we announce this. And this basically is because this the data analytics area and the AI area are moving and evolving so fast that we need to keep our certifications aligned with that. So we have updated those certifications. I'm not going to talk too much about the Azure Solutions Architect. It's not data specific, but is the most comprehensive certifications across everything Azure, apps, infrastructure, and data. So is the top certification that we have, which is also good for data and AI professionals. So it's not data specific, but it's also a good fit. Now, what about foundation and fundamentals? You probably have heard about our fundamental certifications. All our fundamental certifications validate foundational understanding of Microsoft technologies. And Azure has 3 different fundamental certifications. 2 of them are very specific for the data and AI world. So the first fundamentals is Azure Fundamentals. So if you are just starting with Azure, or if you are a cloud beginner, this is the training and certification that we recommend you, because this is foundational knowledge of cloud services and how Azure provides those services. Azure AI Fundamentals is to demonstrate common knowledge of common machine learning and AI workloads. So this is foundational knowledge. It's not the AI engineer, it's to prove that you understand what machine learning is, how it's used, and common AI workloads. Azure Data Fundamentals is to prove your skills on core data concepts and how those core data concepts are implemented using Azure Data Services. So if you come from the data world on premises, this is a good way to kind of like a step into data in the cloud. It's a good transition step between data on premises and data in the cloud. This certification and this training will help you with those foundational concepts. And there is another fundamental certification that is not in the Azure portfolio, but is Power Platform Fundamentals. And this is understanding of core capabilities of Microsoft Power Platform. Uh, um, so it's a core product building power apps, connecting data sources, and this certification and this training we recommend because it's very useful for Azure developers that want to tap into Power Platform, but also for data analysts. Now, let's go very quick to the resources that we have available to support you. And we have a lot of resources to get you not only certified, but also if you only want to get the training. So this is if you want to take a look, like we have a blog series where we go in detail on each one of the certifications that we have for Azure. And we also have the slide that I was showing with all the certifications. We have it also in a poster format. We have official curriculum, and the official curriculum come into ways. We have self-paced learning in Microsoft Learn. So you have a free online self-paced learning at your own pace with hands-on lab. You don't need a subscription for the laboratories. It's all included, and it's a very good way to start learning Azure. So you have content from beginners to very advanced content. And we also have Microsoft official courses. And these Microsoft official courses are created by Microsoft, developed by us, but they are delivered by Microsoft Learning Partners like Global Knowledge. And they are taught by Microsoft certified trainers. So these courses and the content in Learn, they are designed from the same blueprint that we use to create our certification exams. So this official curriculum, it will help you not only to get trained and to get familiar and to actually learn to use Azure, but also if you are going for certification, this Microsoft official curriculum will help you to prepare for certifications. There are a lot of additional resources to help you complement your knowledge on Azure. So we have practice tests if you want to do exams. Microsoft Docs is the official product documentation. So you have a very in-depth documentation for everything, every service on Azure. The Azure Developer Guide is a must for developers. So you will have a pretty interesting content and guides and how-tos. The Azure Architecture Center for architects. And this goes across apps and data and infrastructure. So even for data professionals, all these resources are very good. The Azure Well-Architected Framework and the Cloud Adoption Framework for Azure. So all these resources are there for you to go and complement your knowledge. And if you want to stay close and update on what's going on, what new content is available, what new certifications or updates to our training and certification portfolio, just stay connected to Microsoft Learn. We have a blog, we have a community, we have a newsletter, and we are very active on Twitter and LinkedIn. So if you want to keep up with our pace of innovation in training and certification, make sure that you connect to any of these channels. And if you want to take a look at additional certifications beyond Azure, there is the Microsoft certification poster where you can see certifications for business applications for Power Platform, Dynamics, Modern Workplace, Microsoft 365, and security. And I left the most important resource that we have to support your training and learning and certification journey. I left this resource to the end. We rely on Microsoft Learning Partners like Global Knowledge to give you the in-depth and personalized experience and help you to create and define and achieve your learning journey. So our learning partners, they offer a breadth of training solutions to suit your learning needs. They can combine online, classroom, self-paced learning, hands-on lab, and they work, I mentioned before, Microsoft certified trainers. Learning partners work with Microsoft certified trainings to deliver you the official curriculum from Microsoft. And they have something which is local market relevance and expertise and language skills. So they bring you training for your market, for your needs, in your language. To give you more ideas of what a learning partner and especially Global Knowledge can help you with, I'd like to invite Gidget Pryor from Global Knowledge to explore some of the options that Global Knowledge has for you. And we're gonna leave questions after Gidget.
Thank you. So I want to speak to you about a new offering, fairly new for Global Knowledge, that can support your journey through both the data and AI arena, and frankly, anything in Microsoft. Sandra, if you'll move the slide, please. So the Polaris offering has 3 different levels. There's a discovery level, which includes over 350 instructor-led live virtual classes for lots of core skills. So the courses that Sandra was talking about, the fundamentals courses, the engineering courses, the architect courses, all of those are part of Polaris Discovery. So if you need to take a training class just in one area, you could just sign up for that individual class. But with data and analytics, there are a tremendous number of offers from Microsoft with their official curriculum around that. So perhaps you want to take the data engineering track as well as the AI fundamentals and the AI track as well. All of that would be included in that Polaris Discovery offering. There's also an accelerate level, and this is an area that I'm very excited about. It's a project that I have been deeply involved in. These are hundreds of on-demand courses, as well as some challenge-based labs. When you go to a training class, you take the labs in the training class, and they're step-by-step instructions. They're guided, they help you understand the concept, see how different things work. But when you go back to the real world, you don't have step-by-step instructions for the tasks that you need to perform day to day. So at increasing levels of difficulty, these challenge labs get you further and further along in that journey. So there's a guided level that has some steps for you. And then there's the next level, which has a little less steps and some more general scenarios of something that you're supposed to accomplish. And then there is the highest level, which basically is a scenario and a list of things that you're supposed to accomplish. So as you move through these challenge labs, you become increasingly competent and increasingly confident in the tasks that you're performing. So you could use this in partnership with your discovery. So each of these tiers includes the lower tier. So for example, Polaris Discovery has both Accelerate and Launch as part of it. Accelerate has Launch as part of it. Launch is the lowest level. So Launch is just some foundational on-demand training courses allowing you to do some things that are basic productivity. Maybe you want to learn a little bit about cybersecurity. Maybe you need a little bit on IDLE. So there's a lot of different offerings in there. This is not a Microsoft specific offer. the Polaris is not just Microsoft specific, but it certainly does have a tremendous amount of Microsoft content. And we are always updating it. Okay, Sandra? So why would you choose something like Polaris? It has breadth. So there's a lot of topics around, cloud, cybersecurity, project management, as well as what you need to know in the Microsoft arena. We're focusing here, of course, on Microsoft. There's also a lot of depth. There's multimodality. You can have live training, you can have on-demand training, you can have your self-paced training, doing the challenge labs on your own. It is authorized. So this is Microsoft official content that is contained in the Polaris offering. There's a lot of hands-on in the Polaris offering. So as you journey through your courses, you will have step-by-step instructions. You'll have some things that are maybe even more scenario-based as part of your training course, as well as your challenge labs that are part of this offer. High quality. Global Knowledge prides themselves on having instructors with real world experience. So most of our instructors tend to be contract instructors, and that's because we have an expectation that they will be working in whatever technology they're actually teaching you in, that they have some real world experience in those technologies. And so we do strive for that 95% learner satisfaction, and we have won multiple awards as well. It's a great value for the money. So a normal training class might cost you, close to $3,000. If you take the Polaris offer, it is $2,999, and it contains dozens of classes, hundreds of classes. So there's a good return on investment, a good value for your money. Sandra? I wanted to put a couple of examples here. I didn't create one for the data and AI. I didn't have the that in my deck. I should have. After the fact, I thought about it. But if we were just to look at something like you are currently a Windows administrator and now you want to move into the Azure administration, what would you get from each of these levels? As a baseline, you might want to learn something about cloud fundamentals. If you're new to the cloud, you need to understand something about just cloud in general or cloud computing for business people. That would be as a baseline. And then things that would be more core for the administrator. All administrators need to know something about security. So perhaps in the launch, they would take the Introduction to Cybersecurity on-demand course. Then at the accelerate level, they could use the Azure administrator from Microsoft Learn, which is, as Sandra mentioned, a free offering. And then you could come to the Azure administrator course, the instructor-led course. After the class, we do record those classes, and so you have a year of access to the recordings for the classes that you have taken. And so you can see that with that one subscription, you would get a lot of additional value. And then there's some other things that you just might be interested in. If you're an Azure administrator moving, or your Windows administrator moving to Azure, you might be interested in the architect level, which is that next step, that higher step. Or you may be managing code. So you might want to take something like the Azure DevOps. Next slide, please. All right, and this is just another example. If you're currently a Windows architect and you're moving into Azure, what your journey might look like. So we are creating these and posting them for many, many different tracks. So stay tuned for the Global Knowledge website to include these very soon. Next slide. All right, so I saw some questions that came in. I believe, Sandra, there's a couple of questions that are still open if you want to take a look at those.
Yeah.
And then we'll take any other questions that you have at this time.
Thank you, Gidget. Sandra, one question that remains unanswered is regarding Azure Data Lake Analytics. Is Azure Data Lake Analytics and Synapse Analytics the same? Are they both the same?
Yeah, I need to confirm you because we've been Azure Synapse Analytics was released last year and it went live in December as general availability. So because we included with merge some of the previous services like Azure Data Warehouse and Azure Data Lake. So I think Synapse Analytics now is a super service that include all those that functionality. But I need to confirm, and maybe we can confirm this later. I believe it evolved. Synapse Analytics now is inclusive of what we used to have as Azure Data Lake and Azure Data Warehouse as well.
Thank you. And the next question is for Gidget. Gidget, what are the costs of the Global Knowledge Polaris subscriptions?
I want to make sure that the cost has not been modified. The cost of the Polaris discovery level is $29.99. Launch is $99, and I believe Accelerate is $350. Do you know that, Chris?
$399, I see.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I also I will post it in the chat for everyone. We do create a lot of custom solutions for our customers. So if you had private deliveries that you needed and you had certain areas that you need to focus on, we can combine courses together. We can create learning paths for you. We can tailor to your needs. Microsoft is very generous to us as a learning partner, allowing us to tailor and customize to the exact customer need. So that is also an option. I will put my contact information in the chat. I thought there was a slide in here in the deck, but I don't see it. But I'll put my contact information there, and feel free to reach out to me either by phone or by email.
And I do see another question coming in for Sandra. Can we deploy SaaS via 4 on Azure Linux and Windows instances?
I actually don't know the answer to that question, unfortunately. I would say if you can deploy it in Linux or on Windows, you could have a virtual machine on Windows virtual machine or a Linux virtual machine, and then the answer would be yes. But I'm not really expert in that topic, so I would say maybe, but yeah, sorry about that.
It's okay. It sounds like if you could deploy in a traditional Linux or Windows environment, then perhaps that would carry over to an Azure Windows or Linux instance as well.
Yeah, I think if you can deploy to a Linux or Windows, and then you can have a virtual machine on Azure that is either with Linux or Windows. So that would be an expedite way to do infrastructure as a service, just lift and chip basically. But I don't know if there is another way to do it.
Very well. Thank you. And there have been a number of questions coming in regarding today's presentation. As a reminder for the attendees that are still on the call, you will within 1 week receive a recording of today's webinar. And if there are any additional questions, we do have time. I encourage you to submit your questions within the question and answer area of the control panel towards the bottom of your screen, and we'll be sure to make time to address those before closing out today's session.
I recommend for some of the technical questions that I've seen you have asked, I recommend you to go to the Microsoft TechNet community. Let me go back to the links. Because a lot of these questions, actually, you can have the actual experts helping and supporting. So this is the Microsoft Learn community, but we are part of the Microsoft technical community. So once you go to the Microsoft Learn community, you will see all the other technical communities, and this is a Microsoft engineers as well as experts from the community, even a lot of Microsoft technical certified trainers and Microsoft MVPs, they are supporting the community. So a lot of these questions that I see you've been asking, you can have real experts on those topics helping you solve some of those questions. So I highly recommend that you join the community, and you will find a lot of very good people there supporting and helping you with questions like the ones I've seen here.
Thank you, Sandra. That information is helpful. And some more helpful information to the participants on today's call. As an attendee today, we would like to make it easy for you to take the next step. You're welcome to use the following discount codes to receive 25% off of your next Global Knowledge course. Use webinar 25, that's WEBINAR 25 in the US, and CA webinar 25 in Canada. Finally, be sure to continue to visit Global Knowledge website at globalknowledge.com to access additional free resources like technical articles, white papers, and additional webinars. You're welcome to continue to ask questions via the question and answer box at the bottom of the control panel. We have the discount codes displayed for you on the screen. And otherwise, thank you for your time and attendance today, and do hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Gidget and Chris and Global Knowledge for inviting me here. We hope this was a valuable investment of your time, and stay tuned for more events like this from Global Knowledge and Microsoft. That came in the chat. Is there any AI certification for a business user that can help me get a deeper understanding of Azure solutions available and be in a position to propose solutions for my company to make strategic decisions? I actually would recommend the Azure AI Fundamentals and Power Platform Fundamentals, because those are about you will get to understand the basic concepts around AI and what is offered in Azure, and the same for Power Platform. So those are good for business users. You don't need to be a technology person for the fundamentals certification. So I would recommend the Azure AI Fundamentals and the Power Platform Fundamentals.
Thank you for answering that question vocally, Sandra. I had saw Gidget recommended the same, and it's a great reminder for any users that are in the business community who will then need to make a case perhaps to bring in some of these products and services offered by Microsoft Azure. And having the Azure Fundamentals certification along with the Power Platform certification would be valuable to those stakeholders in terms of making that case. Thank you again for providing a response there.